Now, before you finish watching this video, I need you to like this video, subscribe to this video, and like the next video that pops up and watch it, obviously. First, we have my second favorite rapper out of my favorite group, Lord Infamous of 3 6 Mafia. Now, Lord Infamous was a poet. He was very deep. He was very subliminal in a lot of ways. He rapped fast. He was very versatile. He didn't want to sell out. He didn't want to rap about things that he didn't want to rap about. He simply didn't do it. You know, he wasn't all about the money. You know, he was on some of their most famous bangers. He was on Late Night Tip. He was on fucking Play It While You Hatin', featuring it was a 3 6 Mafia and Hot Boy song, which was awesome. My next, Biggie. Now, Biggie is one of my favorite rappers because he was very before his time. He had a really good flow. He was really grimy and gritty, and he could actually do the club bangers and the hits and then make the grimy ass street shit that you don't play in front of your girlfriend that you just started dating a month ago, and you don't play in front of your mom, and you don't play in front of people that you just met, just like Lord Infamous. And I mean, I didn't put Lil Wayne on this list, but Lil Wayne sounds very much like Biggie, and you could definitely tell that Lil Wayne was a Biggie fan at some point in his life. But Lil Wayne is one of the old Lil Wayne, like pre-Carter 3. Like when I turned 17 and Carter 3 came out, and I listened to 2 mixtapes after that, I think No Ceilings was where I drew the line. When Lollipop came out, I was done. But Lil Wayne, because he was so lyrical and so different and so complex and simple at the same time, and he was very creative with his shit. Now, next, of course, Eminem. I was fucking like obsessed with Eminem when I was in middle school. That's all I listened to. Eminem was actually one of the first hip-hop artists that I've ever heard, like, as far as on a regular basis. Like, yeah, I listened to DMX. DMX is one of my favorite rappers also. I didn't put him on the list. I definitely should have put him on the list. But Eminem is just, he's creative. His flow, his freeness, his level of freedom, and that's a common thing amongst these rappers. DMX is one of my favorite rappers because he didn't give a fuck. He was very simple, in your fucking face, and poetic at the same time. All of my favorite rappers are simple yet complex, have a good flow, and are free. DMX talked about his crack addiction metaphorically a lot of the times. He did things that were very new and innovative. And he sampled Aaron the Night, I think it's called, by Phil Collins. I don't know. Next, I listen to a lot of Gucci. Gucci is one of my favorite rappers, and he has that common theme. He doesn't give a fuck. He talks about where he lives, what he lived. I identify with him as far as the characteristics that I both have and want to inherit, and my flaws and my attributes, you know. He has a good flow. He has a lot of different lyrical styles. He's very underrated as an artist, and that's cool, you know, whatever. Nas is like there's a song called Nas is Like, if you didn't know. But Nas, he's very poetic. Um, I would put him more so at the bottom of the list because some of the things that he does I don't really agree with. It's very overthought. Not all of his songs you can really vibe to and just chill to. You know, he's like Boosie. Like when I listen to Nas, that's when I'm really trying to think. That's when I'm really getting ready to do some shit. That's when I'm really trying to get in a certain mood. And you know, he had some club bangers, maybe like a little less than 10, I believe. But a lot of his songs are really timeless. Illmatic is gonna vibrate through fucking time and hip hop's history for forever. I could play Illmatic in 20 years and fucking have my fucking 12-year-old son if I have a 12-year-old son in 20 years. And whatever the fuck the music sounds like at that time. I mean, 2002 when Soulja Boy came out. Well, Soulja Boy didn't come out in 2002, but Nas is not gonna die. Illmatic's not gonna die. Next, we have Brother Lynch Hung. Brother Lynch Hung is a horrorcore rapper from Sacramento, California. Him and Spice One actually inspired 3 6 Mafia to step their game up and to do things a little bit differently. He's very graphic. He talks about, sexual assault and baby nuts and guts all over your chest and stomach. Like, he talks about crazy ass shit, and he's very lyrical with it. If you've ever seen the movie Juice, he made a song for the soundtrack. He made a soundtrack for the song Juice. I mean, that's not why he's my favorite rapper, but he's really, just like everybody else, he's really creative, he's really real. He's an artist. You can hear his influences through his music when he speaks. Next, MIA. Everybody who knows me knows that I like MIA. MIA is, she labels herself a rapper. The industry labels her a rapper, but you know, she sings, she fucking does international music. It's very, she comes out with bangers, and you fucking click on the song, you don't know what to expect, and that's one thing that I do look forward to when I listen to her songs and when I listen to all of these artists' songs. MIA became one of my favorite rappers when I listened to her latest album called Matangi, and I was on acid, and I just let that bitch ride, man. Like, her music is beautiful. If she wasn't considered a rapper, if she was considered a singer, she wouldn't be on this list. But because she is considered a rapper, she definitely made this list, and I love her fucking music. Next, we have ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky is one of my favorite rappers right now because we have the same influences. I would love to do a song with ASAP Rocky. He's done a song with Gucci, MIA, Lloyd Banks, and a couple more of my favorite rappers. The things that I talk about and the things that I think, he puts that in there. You know, he wasn't, I'm pretty sure he didn't grow up in the same ways that I did, but he has a lot of music for a lot of different people, and he doesn't really stick to one. That the first mixtape that I heard of his was I think Long Live ASAP, the one where everything's purple and fucking with bass. You know, that theme was very just get high, get drunk, fucking chill out, whatever. But I was getting fucked up a lot of that time. So when the rest of his music came out, those fucking 3 extra, I think he came out with 3 mixtapes after that, 3 albums after that. It was a go from there. But he's awesome. Oh, my 2 favorite rappers are my alter egos. You know, Lord Homeboy is one of my favorite rappers. I listen to me every day. I love my fucking music. It's me, you know. Lord Homeboy and DNA for sure are my fucking favorite rappers. Be sure to stay on the lookout for Fantasy and Philosophy 3, Illuminati Dope. Go to my playlist, look for Fantasy and Philosophy 2, bump that whole shit. The quality is not that great because I mixed it myself, and you know, my microphone situation was a no-go. But, you know, it's whatever. Now, these are a list of the list of rappers who I think are the best rappers that I think I've ever heard in my life. Honorable mentions: Ill Bill, Method Man, X-Rated from the West Coast, from Sacramento, California. The partner of Brother Lin Chong, not that partner, kind of gay shit, but he was in Black Market Entertainment. And Pimp C is one of my favorite fucking rappers. Young Dro. Alright, so I think I want to go backwards with this one. So, number 5. One of the best rappers in the game that I've ever heard was Lloyd Banks. I like Lloyd Banks because he calls himself the punchline king, and he's absolutely fucking correct. His punchlines are fucking killer. He says things, and I listen to certain songs for years at a time. When I say years at a time, I listen to I made 2 or 3 mixtapes or compilation song CDs when I had my car, and I would listen to these songs, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and stop listening to them years at a time. And when I listened to these songs, I didn't even fucking know he said that. And some of his lyrics come with a certain level of maturity, but the theme behind his music is he's a fucking teacher. He's a philosopher. He does what I really strive to do in my music, and I resonate with my artists as much as I feel like I do, and that's why they're my favorite rappers. But his words, his flow has improved like times 10 since I first started listening. I've been listening to Lloyd Banks since I was in middle school, and from Blue Hefner and the album, the mixtape he had when he was a cartoon and he had that green on, his flow's way fucking different. His lyrics are 5 times better. His flow's 10 times better. He's much better as an artist. He's grown as an artist, and he didn't die, you know. So Lloyd Banks, number 5. Number 4 would be Tech 9. Now Tech 9, I dislike Tech 9 because he's more of a writer and a poet than a songwriter. He's not good on his choruses and his hooks. And it's not the fact that he's weird and he's overly creative, if that even can exist, but his lyrics are good, his flow's good, how he spits, his speed's good, but he just doesn't write good songs and hooks to me. Number 4, we would have to say, I can't split it up between these 3 artists: Twista, Lord Infamous, and Nas. Now Twista is just the tongue twist version of Nas. He says things that you can't really put together, not as far as his speed, but his lyrical content is very potent, and he's a great lyricist. I think he's the best lyricist out there. Twista and Nas are definitely top 2. 1 and 2, I can't really decide. But if you've never heard Twista, listen to Overdose, listen to Unsolved Mysteries. Twista literally sounds just like Nas, and I don't know who came out first, so I don't really want to throw that out there. But Lord Infamous, he's a poet. He sounds like, no, Yo Gotti sounds like Lord Infamous. It's poetry. He's not a rapper, he's an artist. It's poetry, and that's my list right there. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, listen to my music, Laura Homeboy, click on the playlist, Fantasy and Philosophy 3, my favorite rappers. Peace.